Welcome to Moonlight and Magic, a witch's journey through the ages, a mesmerizing journey through time, where the mysteries of witchcraft shimmer beneath the silver glow of the moon. From ancient rituals whispered in the forests to the modern revival of magical arts, we'll uncover how witches shaped history, inspired legends, and embraced the power of nature and the unseen. Join us as we step beyond myth and mystery, tracing the evolution of witchcraft through centuries of wonder, wisdom, and resilience. Light your candles, open your mind, and let the moon guide us through magic's timeless path. Moonlight and Magic, a witch's journey through the ages. The eternal allure of the witch. From the earliest whispers of civilization to the glowing screens of our modern world, the figure of the witch has endured, mysterious, feared, revered, and misunderstood. She is the embodiment of moonlight and mystery, a symbol of wisdom cloaked in shadows. The story of witchcraft is not simply one of spells and potions. It is the story of human spirituality, rebellion, survival, and transformation. Moonlight and Magic. A witch's journey through the ages traces this powerful archetype from ancient priestesses to modern-day witches, exploring how her magic evolved alongside humanity's shifting beliefs. 1. Ancient roots. Priestesses of the moon. Long before the word, which was ever uttered, women, and some men, served as spiritual intermediaries between humanity and the unseen world. In ancient Mesopotamia, Egypt, Greece, and the Indus Valley, priestesses harnessed the powers of herbs, stars, and rituals to heal the sick, interpret dreams, and guide communities through cycles of life and death. The moon, with its waxing and waning rhythm, was central to their practices. It symbolized fertility, renewal, and the mysteries of womanhood. Ancient witches, or rather wise women, saw themselves as reflections of the lunar goddess, changeable, radiant, and powerful in darkness. In Sumer, the goddess Inanna ruled over love and war. In Egypt, Isis embodied magic, resurrection, and the secret names of the gods. Greek mythology offered Hecate, goddess of witchcraft and crossroads, carrying her torches through the night as a guardian of thresholds and transitions. Magic in this era was not considered evil. It was sacred science, a fusion of ritual, astronomy, herbalism, and psychology. Early witches used the elements, earth, air, fire, and water, as sacred tools to harmonize the human spirit with the cosmos. To invoke the moon's energy was to call upon the divine feminine itself. 2. The Shadow Falls, Fear and the Birth of the Witch. As patriarchal religions began to dominate, particularly with the rise of Christianity, the old ways were cast in shadow. The goddess became a demon, the priestess became a heretic, and the sacred became profane. What was once moonlight became darkness in the eyes of the new order. By the early Middle Ages, Europe's spiritual landscape had shifted. Christianity sought to unify belief under one God, suppressing older pagan practices that celebrated nature cycles. Yet these traditions persisted, especially among rural communities, where herbal healers, midwives, and wise women still used charms and potions to protect, cure, and bless. It was during this time that the word, which, from the Old English wiki, meaning wise one, began to take on sinister connotations. The Church's demonology redefined witches as servants of the devil, beings who flew on broomsticks, danced at midnight Sabbaths, and consorted with dark forces. Fear became a tool of control. 3. The Fires of Persecution. The Witch Hunts. Between the 15th and 18th centuries, witchcraft hysteria consumed Europe and later spread to the New World. Tens of thousands, mostly women, were accused, tortured, and executed. The Malleus Maleficarum 1486, written by Inquisitors Heinrich Kramer and Jacob Sprenger, became a handbook for identifying and punishing witches. It portrayed women as inherently weak and susceptible to evil, weaponizing misogyny under the guise of faith. The witch hunts were not merely about religion. They were about power, fear, and control. Many of those targeted were widows, healers, or those who lived outside societal norms. The persecution of witches was, in many ways, the persecution of independence, knowledge, and female autonomy. Yet, even as the flames of the pyres burned, something deeper survived. The archetype of the witch refused to die. She retreated into folklore, becoming the crone in fairy tales, the enchantress in legends, and the mysterious woman of the woods. Her spirit lived on in whispers, in the secret passing of herbal knowledge, and in the unyielding reverence for the moon. For enlightenment and revival, from folklore to feminism. By the 18th century, the age of reason began to challenge superstition. Science explained what magic once saw to, yet the fascination with witches persisted. Artists, poets, and philosophers began to romanticize the witch as a symbol of mystery and rebellion. In literature, she transformed from a diabolical figure into a misunderstood outcast, an embodiment of freedom from rigid moral systems. Romantic poets like Percy Bysshe Shelley and John Keats drew on witch imagery to explore forbidden knowledge and the power of nature. Painters captured her dancing under the moon or brewing storms in wild landscapes, powerful, sensual, and untamed. By the 19th and early 20th centuries, a new wave of occult revival swept across Europe. Scholars rediscovered ancient texts on magic, alchemy, and mysticism. Secret societies, such as the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, explored ritual magic and spiritual enlightenment, inspiring later figures like Aleister Crowley. Meanwhile, folklorists began collecting tales of witchcraft not as heresy, but as cultural heritage. 5. The birth of modern witchcraft, Wicca and neo-paganism. The modern witchcraft movement, or Wicca, emerged in the mid-20th century, largely through the work of Gerald Gardner. Drawing on ancient pagan beliefs, ceremonial magic, and folklore, Gardner's Wicca sought to revive pre-Christian spirituality centered on the goddess and the god, the cycles of nature, and the sanctity of the moon. In this new form, witchcraft shed its fearsome reputation. It became a religion of balance, where duality, light and dark, male and female, creation and destruction, was celebrated as part of life's eternal rhythm. Witches honored the wheel of the year, marking seasonal festivals such as Samhain, Yule, and Beltane, connecting once again to nature's heartbeat. The moon reclaimed its throne. Each lunar phase carried magical significance. The new moon for new beginnings, the waxing moon for growth and manifestation, the full moon for power, clarity, and divination, the waning moon for release and reflection. Magic was no longer something to be feared. It was a path of mindfulness, empowerment, and harmony with the universe. 6. Feminism, freedom, and the witch as icon. In the late 20th century, the witch became a powerful symbol of feminism. The women's liberation movement of the 1960s and 1970s embraced witchcraft as a metaphor for reclaiming suppressed power and spirituality. Groups like Witch Women's International Terrorist Conspiracy from Hell used the witch's image to protest patriarchal systems and celebrate female strength. To be a witch was to be unapologetically independent, to own one's voice, sexuality, and wisdom. The broomstick, once a symbol of demonic flight, became a banner of liberation. The cauldron, once feared, was now a vessel of creativity and transformation. Pop culture amplified this rebirth. Films, books, and shows such as The Craft, Practical Magic, and Charmed portrayed witches as complex heroines navigating magic and morality. While some depictions leaned into fantasy, others mirrored the real-world revival of witchcraft as a personal and spiritual practice. 7. The modern witch, technology, and the new age. Today, witchcraft has entered the digital realm. Across TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram, modern witches, often called witch talk creators, share spells, tarot readings, and lunar rituals with millions of followers. The image of the witch has evolved once more, a blend of ancient tradition and modern spirituality. In this new era, witches draw from diverse paths. Green witches connect with herbalism and earth magic. Crystal witches harness vibrational energy through stones. Cosmic witches use astrology and lunar cycles to guide their lives. Eclectic witches blend traditions from around the world, emphasizing personal intuition over rigid dogma. Magic has become accessible, not something confined to secret covens or dusty grimoires, but a living, breathing practice that adapts with the times. The moon still reigns as a spiritual compass, guiding witches through cycles of manifestation and reflection. Rituals once performed by candlelight in secluded groves now unfold through meditation apps and digital altars. Yet despite the modernization, the heart of witchcraft remains unchanged. It is a path of connection to the self, to nature, and to the unseen. 8. Science, skepticism, and the psychology of magic. As the modern world grows increasingly scientific, many wonder, why does belief in magic still thrive? The answer lies in psychology and human nature. Magic provides what pure logic cannot: meaning, agency, and ritual in an unpredictable world. Studies in psychology show that ritual, even when symbolic, can reduce anxiety and increase focus. The act of lighting a candle or performing a spell channels intention, turning thought into action. Whether one believes in metaphysical power or not, the practice itself carries psychological weight. Witches, then, are not relics of ignorance, but pioneers of symbolic thought. They understand that the material and the spiritual, the seen and unseen, coexist in a delicate balance. In a world dominated by technology, their practices remind us of something deeply human: the desire to connect with mystery. 9. The witch in global cultures. While the European witch narrative dominates popular imagination, witchcraft is a global phenomenon with unique expressions across cultures. In Africa, traditional healers, often called sangomas, ngangas, or babalawos, act as spiritual mediators, blending herbal medicine with ancestral wisdom. In parts of Asia, shamans and spirit mediums perform rituals to restore harmony between the living and the spirit world. Indigenous peoples in the Americas have long held ceremonies under the moon to honor the balance of creation. Each culture's version of witchcraft is a reflection of its worldview, some benevolent, others feared, but all rooted in the belief that unseen forces shape reality. The witch, in every form, stands as a bridge between worlds. 10. The moon, the witch's eternal companion. If witchcraft is a language, then the moon is its poetry. Through every age and culture, witches have looked skyward to the moon as both teacher and mirror. Its changing face symbolizes transformation, the essence of magic itself. Under the full moon, witches gather to celebrate illumination, perform rituals of power, and draw down lunar energy. Under the dark moon, they turn inward, embracing introspection and shadow work. Each phase offers lessons on the rhythm of existence: growth, fullness, decline, and rebirth. The moon reminds witches and all who seek that light and darkness are not enemies, but partners in creation. It is this lunar wisdom that sustains witchcraft across time, a dance between shadow and flame, silence and song. 11. The return of the witch, a symbol for our time. In our modern age of uncertainty, marked by environmental crises, spiritual emptiness, and technological disconnection, the witch's resurgence feels inevitable. She represents a return to intuition, ecology, and personal sovereignty. She teaches that magic is not about control, but about alignment, with nature, with truth, and with the cycles that govern all life. More people are turning toward witchcraft not out of superstition, but out of longing for meaning, for community, for a spirituality that honors both science and spirit. The witch's cauldron is not a place of fear, but of transformation. It is where the old is broken down to nourish the new. Today's witch walks between worlds, ancient and modern, digital and natural, carrying the wisdom of centuries in her heart. Her magic is not confined to spells. It is found in compassion, creativity, and connection. Moonlight, magic, and the eternal journey. From the moonlit temples of Babylon to the digital altars of the 21st century, the witch's journey is a story of endurance, transformation, and rebirth. She has been worshipped as goddess, condemned as demon, and reclaimed as symbol. Through persecution and empowerment, she has reflected humanity's own evolving relationship with nature, spirituality, and self-knowledge. The moon still shines upon her, unchanged, eternal, a silver witness to her resilience. Each generation rediscovers her in its own way, finding in her the courage to question, to create, and to connect. Moonlight and magic are not relics of the past. They are living forces that remind us that mystery is not to be feared but embraced. The witch's journey through the ages is, in truth, our own, a timeless path of transformation beneath the ever-watchful gaze of the moon. Thank you for joining us on this enchanting journey through moonlight and magic, a witch's journey through the ages. From ancient covens to modern-day practitioners, the spirit of witchcraft continues to illuminate our world with wisdom, mystery, and power. If you enjoyed exploring the history and magic woven through time, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with fellow seekers of the arcane. Tell us in the comments which era of witchcraft fascinated you most. Until next time, keep your spirit wild, your magic alive, and may the moon's light always guide your path. Blessed be.